welcome back to the channel. It's Titus and Travis here today on the MVM Show. Welcome back if you're listening on or watching on YouTube. Welcome back if you're listening on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, whatever you're listening on, whatever platform. We thank you guys for being here today. Let me ask you guys something. What do you guys think about that intro to the podcast? It's not on the YouTube channel, but it is on the podcast if you listen to it on iTunes or Stitcher, any of that. Do you guys like it? Do you not like it? Let me know in the reviews. Give me a review on that, and let us know if you like it. I kind of redid it from last year, and I like it. It kind of involves turkey hunting, duck hunting, goose hunting, all that kind of stuff, so it's a little different. But anyways, let me know. And if you guys get a chance, give us a rating review. Before we get into the podcast, please remember, check out Eukanuba, Feeding That Dog Food. I bring that up so much because it's really a great product. If any of you guys have duck dogs out there, I highly suggest just taking a look. It doesn't hurt. If you don't want to get it, if you want to buy it. But it does have glucosamine and chondroitin in it, which is really good for joints on dogs, and labs of all breeds really deal with that, having bad joints. So there's that. And also check out Heavy Shot if you're looking for a new load and you're willing to spend a little bit more but get really good quality. Check out Heavy Shot and all their products. They got Heavy Hammer, which is a lower end, more affordable. And then they got Heavy Metal, Heavy X. They got all kinds of blends. So anyways, check them out. All right. So today we are going to talk about, and there's going to be two parts to this. Travis is joining me, is quick tips or quick fixes for better shooting or better shotgunning. So without further ado, like I said, there's going to be two parts to this because we're going to keep this under 30 minutes. And we got some guests coming up and lots of things coming on, and maybe you've already heard some of them. So pretty pumped to start getting consistent with my scheduling. I can get a lot more content out, and excited to give that for you guys, and excited for all the guests we're going to have on. Well, let me first ask, how are you doing today, Travis?
I'm tired today, man. Work's been busy. And
yeah.
Working extra hours, and then I literally hate the heat, and it
Drains you.
100 plus here, and I'm used to working inside, so go outside and just want to turn around and come back inside. So it's kind of slowed down my activities.
It drains you too, huh?
Yeah. I feel like this is the worst time of year. Like if I could move out of state and go somewhere where it's, in the 70s
yeah,
for the rest of till October, till duck season gets here. I could do the 6 months here,
I could
6
do
months
that.
somewhere else.
The snowbird.
That'd be no problem. But instead of running running to the heat like snowbirds do,
so you're half duck is what you're
I'd go the
me.
opposite way. Yeah,
Right.
the reverse migration. Yeah, that's what I would
you do what they do.
Than the normal human beings.
Right.
Correct.
Well, basically, the
Follow the
snowbirds
ducks,
do
right?
that. They just go where it's
Warm.
I like where it's warm. They do, huh?
Yeah.
That don't make any sense.
So like if they're up in
I'd be
the
what
eastern
the
parts
dude.
of the state, they go down to Florida.
No, that's not me either.
Yeah, forget that.
No. I'd be definitely doing what you're saying. I'd be like the ducks. I'd go north in the summer and south in the winter.
Yeah.
That's about perfect. Stay in that cool temp. So, anyways, we're gonna go through these. We won't burn through too fast, and maybe me and Travis, we can just both give our 2 cents worth in each one of these. But first off, so tips for better shooting, better shotgunning, kind of getting ready for that the next duck season. It's not quite there where you're not in that mode yet, but you're starting to every once in a while watch a video here and watch a video there.
But looking on Amazon.
Yeah, looking at Amazon.
Looking at decoys.
Looking at the gear.
Yeah, it's not
And
not
where
too
did we
far
go?
off.
Where did we go the other day? We were looking for the squirters. I always call it. That's what I call them because I can never remember the name.
Oh, the pulsators.
The pulsators.
We went over to Kittles.
Yeah,
up there in
Kittles.
Calusa.
They didn't have nothing. They haven't restocked.
They haven't restocked.
No one's restocked.
Yeah.
Even like all these places, Rogers, Sitka, even our local places, just about there. About another month, everyone was telling me they're going to start restocking. So, but so first tip, and some of these are super common sense, and some of these you may not have thought of before. But one thing that could really help you shoot better and be a better shotgunner is cut the kick. So I've shot those guns, the older guns that have no butt pad. It's basically just a plastic piece. And what that causes a tendency to do is what? Flinch.
Yeah.
When you know it's going to hurt, you're going to flinch. You're going to pull your shot. You're going to you close your eyes, or you're anticipating that bruise on your shoulder. And so, I mean, one of the things that we can do for that is just go buy a Kickies. I think they're called Kickies, aren't they? Kick and then EEZ. Are they called Kickies or Limb Saver? Limb Saver's one. I'm thinking, yeah, Kickies.
Yeah.
Kick and then dash ease, and then there's also Limb Saver. I actually bought a Limb Saver one time I think that over and under it didn't have a butt pad. It was just a plastic piece. So
that's how my first shotgun was.
Was it
20 gauge H&R?
You probably just shot how it was,
Single
though, right?
shot. That thing kicked like a mule.
A 20 gauge?
20 gauge kicked like a mule.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you do anything to help with that, or just dealt with it?
No, I just dealt with it. Yeah. But I never really had a gun that like kicked the fire out of me.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed like, but that 20 gauge, that thing was a kicker.
What loads were you using? It seems like a 20 gauge.
Twos.
Oh,
typically twos. Yeah. You're 9 years old.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. Big age difference.
Yeah. Well, that felt like it probably was a mule.
That thing. The first time I shot it, knocked me flat on my hind end. I remember it plain as day. Yeah. Hopefully
you had it's a single shot.
Single shot.
Oh,
one
so
shot.
that's safe then.
Yeah.
That's scary when someone gets knocked over with a semi. So another thing you could do to eliminate that, the gun that you have, maybe that's something, and maybe if you don't shoot good with it, you could sell it. They do say that gas guns don't kick as bad. They have less recoil. I don't know. Do you believe that?
I don't know. Like, I mean,
I've only shot one gas.
Inertia gun.
Right, so do I.
Well, you got your gun's gas, right?
No. A5?
It's not an inertia, is it?
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And so is your Frankie, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's inertia.
Yeah. It's funny, though. The Frankie feels so much different.
I had a gas gun. I had a Remington 1100. And I didn't notice much kick between it and my Vinci. It was a lot heavier.
Yeah, that is true.
It was a much heavier gun.
So maybe it's more just absorbing recoil, not necessarily not as much kick.
Some of the lighter guns, maybe it's just the way I hold it, but I've noticed with my my Vinci sometimes, if I get my cheek really on the stock, sometimes it'll feel bruised at the end of the day.
Your cheek?
My cheek.
Yeah, I get that. What's that called? What's that called when it cheek slap? I used to get that really bad with my over and under.
I don't really feel it slapping me though. Just
they just
more
called
like
that
the movement. Yeah, against
it's
my
just
cheek.
Yeah, it's not slapping you. That's just the term they use. Cheek slap. It kicks up on your cheekbone.
Mm-hmm.
And man,
yeah.
My over and under did that so bad when we go to like Rooster Ranch or shoot out there. Oh man, after 100 rounds, hurting, dude. At every shot, you're like tensed up for it. So that's definitely gonna affect your shot when you're thinking about that.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Maybe subconsciously, not because you're so focused on, at least me when I'm duck hunting.
When you're hunting, but like I'm
shooting,
saying
but maybe subconsciously it may cause you to do something that, could throw you off a little bit.
Yeah. All right, number 2, this is not a tip I suggest.
Yeah,
guys are talking about removing the bead. But I've seen a lot of guys, I've watched a lot of videos, they say they shoot better like that because they're doing it more off instinct than they are.
Well, yeah, they talk about blacking out the bead and you see all these high vis beads,
Well, that's why I was going to mix it up. Like, okay, that is an option, removing the bead. I know people that shoot their guns without beads, and they shoot good. But then again, like me, I do like a bead, and that high vis bead that I have on the Frankie, I bought that same one for my A5 and put it on there. I'll have to show that to you afterwards, but man, it's nice, dude. It's like, it's not like I focus on the bead. It's just, I don't know. I claim the target quicker to me when the duck's going. And if I have a high vis bead, I can pick up that spot where I want to put it. And then I don't really think about the bead.
They're talking about you have a tendency to focus too much on the bead and not on the bird.
I'm looking down and I'm looking at the bird when I shoot.
Yeah.
I don't know about you.
Sometimes I think I shoot more instinctively, I guess, you know what I'm saying? And not really think about.
So you don't need a
where
bead
the
then?
bead's at? I don't know. I mean, I'd much rather have one than not have one.
We should cut it off next season.
Nah, I'm good.
Travis and the beadless gun.
I'm good. I'll take the bead.
So that is an option because like Travis said, people are focusing too much on the bead, which I could see that. I don't know if I wouldn't say that's a beginner thing. I don't know. That just might be certain characteristics.
One thing too, I think the size of the bead.
If it's too big?
Yeah, because Talon has a 20 gauge Nova, and the stock bead on that thing is, it's huge. When I throw that up, that's all I see is that bead.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't like it. In fact, I've shot that gun a couple times, and I don't know if I've ever killed a bird with that 20 gauge Nova.
He's a pretty good shot with it.
Yeah, he does good. Talon shot a lot of birds with that gun. But
yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. I'm gonna have to see how I shoot with that thing on, because I put that removable. You can stick it on and take it off.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty big though.
Yeah, so I think maybe a smaller bead, with high vis that's visible would be something I would like better.
Yeah,
because I still have the stock bead on my Vinci, and it's just orange, and so I don't know. I like the green.
Yeah, this one's a combo of orange and green.
Green, yeah.
Orange is the outside ring, and then green's the outside ring, and middle's orange. It's a cool different. I like it. I shot the other day, and because I put the bigger bead on, hoping maybe to bring my shot down a little bit. It's not that, because raised bead's gonna make you aim lower, which would bring your shot down. But it's not that after I started thinking about it, I'm like, the only time to me that my bead being the way it is, or I shouldn't say my bead, the way my gun shoots, or me, maybe it's just me, is crossing shots. Because people are saying, don't change that, because when a bird is flushing, it's perfect that it shoots a little higher, because if you put it on them and bury the bird, it's going to shoot a little above them and they're going to fly into the pattern. But on left to right shots, if I have the bead perfectly in front of them like it should be, it's going to shoot over top. It's going to be higher. That makes sense?
Because of the bigger bead?
No, I'm saying with the original bead it had. If I have a bigger bead, obviously I have to bring the gun. I'm going to drop it lower to see the bird, which is going to put it more on it. But I don't know. So left and right would be an issue. Flushing would be fine. So I don't know. We're going to try it out. I'm going to pattern it beforehand too, but I think it will help me, because all those shot cam videos from the last 2 years is certain shots I'm always shooting over their back. And it's not that my aim is not right. Sometimes it is, but like for the most part, it's because I'm dead leading them right in front, but the pattern is going up here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So either I got to adjust and aim low, which throws you off, or get a bead that makes my vision see that way and cleans it up. So anyways, all right. Travis can speak well of this. I'll let him tell you what happened this last junior hunt. Another quick fix or thing that can help you be better, do better in the field with the shotgun shooting, or just any issues in general, is be prepared for problems. And that is one thing I truly say I don't really do. I haven't had no issues with my gun, but it is something that could happen and totally affect your hunt. I do take a little bit of gun oil, and sometimes I take WD-40, because maybe the action's sticking, maybe it's got gunk in there or whatever. If you have a misfire or get a shell jammed inside your barrel, or maybe the wad's stuck in there, and you don't have something for that, your hunt could be over for an hour or two, because depending on how long it took you to walk out, get something that get it, and you may not even have it in your truck, and then walk back in. Your hunt's either over or it's delayed. So having something with you in the field. So what happened? Tell us what happened.
So last year on the junior hunt, Taylor was shooting a particular brand of shells, and actually we had shot. Well, I bought 2 cases of it, and I was on I bought 2 cases of it. I was on the last case. I probably had about 4 or 5 more boxes left of it, and I don't know what the issue was, because the first case I never had a single issue, but the second case.
Well, in your gun.
In my gun, yeah. And she hadn't shot it as much, but I think she had shot some of those shells. And the wads, a monster wad. I never seen a wad so big in my whole life. And it was one solid piece. It didn't some wads, they'll have like a split. They'll split or whatever.
Well,
this one was a solid piece. It was the Browning Wicked Wing shell.
The Browning Wicked Wing shells.
And she shot it, and you could just hear the BBs go out there like a weird sound.
Like kind of fall out almost.
Almost like they fell out, maybe went 2 feet in front of us. I'm like, don't shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And the wad was literally stuck in the barrel.
Like towards the back or the chamber, or out towards the end?
No, it was towards the end. The first time it was probably about, I could see it, maybe like an inch down in there, and so start looking around for a stick or something like that to shove down there. Nothing. So I don't know. We were probably 3/4 of a mile, and I had to walk all the way back to the truck. I get back to the truck and I'm looking at the truck like, what am I going to use? Looking around just for something, and then I'm like, oh, my antenna. So I unscrewed the antenna, and it was long enough to get in there and wedge that free. Then we went back out there, and I took the antenna with me because I'm like,
if it happens again,
this happens again. And sure enough, it was a few shells later. The wad stuck, and it was actually 3/4 of the way out of the barrel, and it was probably at least 2.5 inches of wad. It was huge.
That's weird.
Yeah, I've never seen wads like that. And I pulled on that thing. I tugged on it. Hit it with that the antenna. It would not come out. And fortunately, one of our buddies there had a knife, and he worked on that probably for 20 minutes trying to cut that thing out. And finally, he got that wad cut out of there, and we switched shells. But yeah, if you have something, it's kind of hard because the length to get down your barrel. You think about how long that is. And I was thinking about that when I was looking this over. It's like, what, I'm trying to think, what could you use, that would be easy to pack and easy to carry that you could wedge down in there. And the only thing I could really think of would be if you had some like wading poles, but I'm not sure the diameter of that, or if you had something in a wading pole that you could unscrew the top and have some kind of rod down inside that thing just to have it, in case something gets stuck in your gun. You never know.
Well, my thoughts were those cleaning rods. Because they have extensions where you could keep screwing.
You keep screwing them on.
So 8 to 12 inches, and then you can screw 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that never happens, Harley. But if you're trying to save from walking back, you never know. But this is something you definitely don't want to happen, but definitely could happen. So
yeah, and another thing that you may want besides just that is just a flathead screwdriver. For some reason, if you're, certain shells, I had an 870, and certain shells in there would expand, and they wouldn't eject. They'd be stuck in there, and then you have to get something to try to, catch the edge of that shell and force it out of the gun. Take your gun apart and pull that out of. Yeah, I've had that happen too. So a
couple little small tools.
I think it could be the shells you shoot too. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you shoot the cheaper end shells, and I think sometimes you could potentially run into problems. Who knows? I always try to keep my guns really clean.
Could be just the gun and shell combo.
Yeah.
They just don't like each other, maybe. I mean, to me, I think Super X is fine, but the combo with the My A5 and that, they didn't like each other. Because I would start thinking, is my gun dirty?
Yeah.
What's going on here? I just cleaned this thing the night before, and then it would... But what I found out for me with the A5 is the crimps were just literally an 1/8 inch too long, and they were catching on the way out.
See, I had that issue with my 870 with Remington shells.
Really?
Yep.
The crimps were too long.
They were too long.
Huh.
When you go to eject it, they'd hang up in there. So.
And really, that's... The shell itself, like I said, we did fine with, but that is a problem.
Yeah, and what was strange, it was the same make of gun as it was shell, and so you think that it would be compatible, but for whatever reason, it didn't work out too good for me.
Yeah. All right. Mixed lows, the door's open. My kids are hitting the doorbell, and it's open, so see how long it takes them to figure that out. Hold on a second. Why don't you give the next tip?
What tip are we on?
Mixed loads. Have you ever done that?
No, I haven't. Just looking at mixed loads, they're saying that
the door's
open. to maybe load a lighter shell than a heavier shell in there. And when I'm hunting, what I'm saying, I'm just grabbing shells and sticking them in there. I'm not really thinking about too much about, oh yeah, I'm gonna put a light one in, heavy one in, or whatever. So for me, I don't really like that idea too much of having two shells or whatever. I just typically just choose around, 3-inch threes are usually my favorite loads to shoot and have the most success with those. So I don't really do that whole, two different shells.
To me, that sounds more like
Sounds like work.
an over and under. It does. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know guys that do it.
And pretty soon the ratio of short range shells
Right.
to long range shells is not going to even
It's
out.
just kind of a lot of extra. I don't know.
I don't know. That to me, that
You're
was,
getting super technical.
yeah, that's like,
I won't make fun of anybody that does that, but like for me, that's just not for me. But it
Yeah.
is something you could do.
I guess if you were hunting someplace where potentially there was, more geese. I know some of the places
Yeah,
up
guys
north,
do
there's
that
more
too.
geese.
They'll throw a 3.5 inch in on
I'll
the.
take maybe a couple heavier loads. You know what I'm saying, in case the geese start flying.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
want to have more knockdown
Lethality
power.
and knockdown. Yeah. True.
So I'll do that sometimes.
Yeah.
The next one I've never really thought about at all.
This is getting technical. Like, so guys, on some of these tips, these are super technical and they're not all the obvious ones, but you're getting down to the nitty gritty when you start
I never even thought of this.
compensating for the cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. So feet per second. I guess if you were in one of those really, really cold areas, maybe Wisconsin in the dead end of winter,
Mm-hmm.
and you're trying to do that, but I don't know. I just don't feel like, because the density of the cold area is dense, so it's going to slow the pellets up and open the pattern a little bit. So that's why I think so many guys are just stuck on 2s, 3-inch 2s or whatever, because they can kind of any scenario situation they can work with those. I just like having more pellets in my pattern. That's why I like 4s.
Yeah, I've noticed you went to lighter loads, and I still haven't.
Left 3s.
Yeah.
Well, no, you shot the 4s. You shot the heavy metal 3-inch 4s last year.
No, I shot the 3-inch 2s.
Nay, my friend.
The ones I bought that I got a good deal on were
Travis.
3-inch 2s.
Those were not, dude.
Oh my goodness! I'm not gonna argue with this guy. They were 3-inch 2s because I was wishing they had the 3-inch 3s.
And do you think I would have tried to buy those off you if those were 2s?
I have no idea.
Okay, listen to this.
price.
Hear this story. So my friend Travis is working in Fresno, and he stops by. Who knows how many times? He probably stopped by their lunch and after work every single day because he was literally worked right by Sportsman's Warehouse. He goes by there. I didn't know this. He calls me. He's supposedly 10 minutes down the road. Hey, I seen some heavy metal 3-inch 4s at Sportsman 2s, whatever. I wouldn't have wanted them if they're 2s, I promise you. But anyways, he goes, 3-inch 2s at the store at Sportsman's for how much?
They were
$10 or $12 a box.
$12 a box.
So for the whole case, it was going to be $100
It was like 120
or
bucks.
$120.
Yeah.
I go, Travis, stop right now, turn around and go back there, buy him. I will pay you for him. Do you think he was going to do that for me? No. He realized it was that good of a deal and turned around. Why? Honestly, God, dude,
They
why
only
did
had
you
one
leave?
case. They only
Okay.
had one case.
So what?
I don't know. I just, for some reason, I thought, well, maybe these aren't the shells I thought that they were or something. I don't know, because that was really the first time I had purchased those. And I got to look at my receipt, and I was like, because they were supposed to be 15% off.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Already?
So they were supposed to be 15% off. That was the deal. Well, when the guy rang
That was
him
like
up,
50% off.
he took 50. I think he took 15% off. Plus, he took $15 off a box. Because they were regular 30. Was it 30 something?
No, they're
Heavy
usually...
metals. What do they run? 28.
No, they're like 24.
24, and I was getting them for 12. So they were half off.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
some reason I got them like dirt cheap, like $12 a box, and then I went back in there and I told him, I go, hey, I want to make sure that that
I was
you
very
didn't-
honest of
you
you.
didn't do something wrong and mischarge
Right.
me for this. And he looked at me, he's like, no, this is right. I go, well, can I get the rest of the case? And he rung them up and did the same thing to every box in the whole case. And I was like, I go, do you have any more? He's like, no.
Did he even realize how good of a deal that was?
I don't know. I don't know if he cared, or since he gave me from one box, he figured he'd give me the whole box. I don't know. I don't think he was supposed to give them to me that good of a deal, but I was very grateful.
Yeah, I bet. I still want to verify. There's no way I can verify either of those were 4s.
No. You could ask Talon.
Yeah, we know how that goes. All right. Okay. Let's see, I don't even know. I lost the count, but use swatter loads for cripples. This is another thing I don't see myself doing. I'm not going to carry what they're saying. You could grab 6 shot, have it in your pocket, and then when you're going to shoot a cripple, shoot them with 6 because you're getting more BBs. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Personally, I'm just not going to carry that. But I have shot 6s. I went till hunting last season and actually shot 2 3/4 6s. Love that load. The heavy tilt, which is all steel. And but what they're talking about, and this could help you with, because say if you do shoot a bird, and this would make you better shot and use less shells, is you could, when you're aiming at a bird, I don't remember what percentage. I read a scientific deal some biologist had done about shooting a duck on the water, how much of the duck is actually revealed. And it's literally like 30% is even available to shoot at. Like 70% of the bird's underwater. So that's why it's so hard. I've heard people say, like, even myself, like, man, I can't hit the stupid bird. He's right there on the water. Like, how are they still swimming? I have heard everybody do that. Like, anybody I've hunted with, that has so happened, and we've talked about that. And one of the things that you can do is aim, instead of just putting the bead on its head, because then you'd get the majority of the shell over top, is put it at the water, between the water and his head, and you would get more. But still, it's still possible that you could totally miss, especially if you're using 2-shot
or have a dog.
Well, you saying that though, I learned something last year, and I don't know if you remember on that last really good hunt we had up north. Remember, I was saying I'm not gonna send him until the bird's dead, because you end up thinking the bird's just kind of doing this. He's like, oh, he ain't gonna go nowhere. So you send the dog after that thing goes 100 miles an hour. And you got a dog running around out there chasing a bird for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So that was a lesson learned with the dog that I can just throw in this, is if you do have a dog or a new dog, you guys that have new dogs listening, training your dogs, make sure that bird's dead for the most part as best as you can. Sometimes you can't tell. But make sure they're dead before you send your dog out there, because it could be a wild goose chase. You end up having to run out there, your dog's running around, you're trying to shoot the bird again, which is totally unsafe with your dog there.
Yeah.
It's just better off just...
But I've had instances with birds where literally I've shot,
4 or 5 shells at
a
them.
third of my box of shells trying to kill this cripple because, maybe. And
but if they're that alive, a dog's not going to catch them.
Yeah, but you ever notice, like, sometimes, like, all you'll see is like a bill sticking out of the water.
Yeah.
And a little piece of the head. It's almost impossible to hit that sometimes.
No, you're not going to kill them that way. No way. So that's another thing you could do is that, and that's why I like that. I just like the 4s because you have more pellets. So again, it's just preference, but it's something that could really help you out if you're trying to shoot a cripple. You just get a little bit more out there. All right. This is kind of a topic that could get a little bit of mixed. So we're gonna stop there, guys. I know we didn't go through a whole lot there because we might do 3 episodes of this, but anyways. We're going to wrap it up there for this podcast. I thank you guys for tuning in, listening. Appreciate Travis's comments. And guys, if you want, like I said, just comment in the reviews. Let me know what you think about the topic or your thoughts on shells. We like to read that stuff. It's not just a review for the podcast, but it's also kind of a review just for you guys to communicate with us and let other people know that are looking into the podcast, what's going on in here and topics that we're talking about. So thanks for listening, guys, and we'll see you next time.